Finding that emotion, the love you gave to me. You know it, you want it, you know I got to have it. I just want to be free.
Hey everybody, Jesse Reed here with Dropout Entertainment. I'm here with Danny Dymond. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. You've got a brand new song out today. What do you want? How's your day going aside for the new release? I'm sure it's been a huge part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working a lot, so I took today off just to deal with the release, and it's been pretty crazy. But things are going well. Just trying to get everything posted and communicate with everybody that was involved with the project, and just get the word out there. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Yeah, that's always a big day, having a new song come out. As you're saying, there's always a lot of people to talk to, communicate with. How's everything going? How's the reaction been so far to the brand new music video?
It's been great. I have a lot of loyal followers and people that were really antsy for me to have it out.
What do you want? What do you want? Oh, it's alright to be free. Yeah. A deep breath, count to 3. A new dawn suddenly. I see finally what I came to be.
So yeah, I'm feeling blessed and my heart's full, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, and the single itself, you released in advance, just the audio version. And that racked up over 30,000 streams within the first week. So that's going great as well. What have people been saying about the song itself?
I'm very thankful to be on So Fierce Music and us being able to release this debut single with them. It's been really great. The streams have been great. I'm happy to be able to be heard internationally and be able to be relevant and share my music, and everyone seemed to be enjoying it. A lot of European countries are a really big fan of the sound, as well as a lot of the States as well. They'd be picking up on it really nicely too. So it's a very uplifting, fun track. So people are just bopping to it, having a good time, and it's more of a celebratory kind of vibe. So that's what I'd like to see, people to enjoy it and just party and have fun.
Yeah, and so the track came out during Pride Month, which I know I read was a symbolic thing for you. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. We just released it right after Pride just because of the oversaturation with all of the content that comes out in the community, as well as just like online with marketing and the whole world with Pride and Pride Month. So initially we did want to release it during Pride because I am on an all-inclusive label which represents queer artists, and we felt it would be a right fit, but just delaying it by a few weeks just to get the marketing tools in place and just making sure everything was perfect and good to go, we pushed it to today. It's still kind of relevant with Pride, but we get to kind of have a little bit more visibility and a little more of a breather to prepare.
Yeah, nice. That makes sense. Let's talk about So Fierce Music. You worked with Velvet Code on this, who's done some incredible things. Incredible dude. How was working with him on this track and within the label?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. He sent me initially some samples and some demos of some instrumentals, and we kind of went over which direction I could take, whether it be more of a party anthem, like an electronic house kind of like dirty beat, or like maybe something just more inspiring and uplifting. And we found a really nice balance with like a deep house track with like an inspiring kind of uplifting vibe with What Do You Want? And we started writing the lyrics and the melodies, and they kept evolving over time, and we bounced off of each other, and we both wrote certain parts of it and then kind of changed things around and just messed with the melodies a bit to get the delivery right. And it was a really good collaboration. I'm really happy. We recorded at the Orange Lounge in Toronto on Queen West, and that was a really relaxed environment. I got to be able to just push my vocals and feel comfortable, and I feel like it was a good time and a great recording. So
that's awesome. Yeah, the Orange Lounge, they've worked with, they've recorded Justin Bieber there, The Weeknd there. How was that feeling of just being in there, knowing you're recording in that same room and the same equipment?
Yeah, it's definitely a cool energy for sure. There's got to be magic in the air, of course, with all of that talent coming through, and yeah, the people that I worked with there, as well as Velvet Code, it was just a great like back and forth and a really good like steady flow, and we got things done nice and quickly, but like still had some time left over to do some ad libs and some other renditions. So
with the music videos, this is your first music video I think in 4 years that came out.
Yes, I released my last like cinematic like full-length music video in 2017 with my track Disco Mannequin, which was on my debut album in 2018 actually. So we released it a little bit before the actual full-length album came out. But yeah, that was my first like full one. And then I've done a few other projects since then with live shows and live tapings and those type of things. But this is my first in 4 years. What Do You Want will be. And yeah, a full-length cinematic kind of concept.
Nice. And you self-produced and directed this video, correct?
I did, yes. I came up with all of the concepts and ideas, and we had a lot of changes throughout, just with like venues and studios and just, you know, rolling with the punches and changing things last minute and locations. We were initially going to shoot at a waterfall for the dream sequence because we were shooting in Hamilton, and Hamilton has an amazing array of waterfalls. Wow. And we thought we could pull it off, but there was a ton of tourists and limitations with equipment and stuff. So we ended up just shooting in a forest, and it ended up working out, especially with all of the angles and like the ravine that we were in. So I'm happy with the product regardless of all of the changes. And we actually had a car crash on set too. The car that we used in the video, the brakes went and he slammed right into the studio wall. So he was okay. Thankfully it happened there, so no one got hurt. Could have been on the road when that happened. You know, it kind of threw the energy off for everybody involved, and there's just a lot of changes, but we made it work, and they were very nice enough to let us use the vehicle still. And yeah, it was a day, but I'm very happy with what came out of it.
That's yeah, holy man, yeah, that is a crazy behind the scenes story. But yeah, the forest turned out beautiful, and yeah, no tourists in it, so I like that shot.
Right.
Where was the location that you shot? It's one of the main scenes. It's got all the rock walls. You guys got like a hangar over top of you. Where is that? I love that scene in the video.
Yeah, the one that we're in like the basement kind of like dungeon vibe. Yeah, that's at Eagle Empire Studios in Hamilton. So it's a big old warehouse. They have some studio space upstairs, and I think they're developing a lot upstairs to kind of work with bigger productions. And then the upstairs of it was where the car was parked with the dance sequence kind of scene in the video. So we got to use both levels, and they worked really well together. How was
letting all that blue smoke out?
Oh man, actually that's funny you asked, because when we did the first take, one of the dancers, the smoke bomb exploded sideways. So it burnt the back of one of the dancer's legs, and we were in the middle of the shot. She couldn't move. So she was just like, and she's fine. It just like, it hit her a little bit and burnt her to a point where it felt like a little bit of a ouch kind of thing. But yeah, we got blue stuff all over our clothes because we were wearing white. So there was like that blue powder residue. But no one was really hurt. It was just a crazy day. But the second shot we took, it worked a lot better, and it was more of a straight up kind of explosion, I guess, from the smoke bomb. So,
holy man, yeah, it sounds like you guys had one hell of a shooting day there.
Someone actually hit my friend's license plate on her car too, and someone's car battery died, so we had to jump their car like right before we wrapped. So, I guess it was the Mercury retrograde or something, but it was just insane.
Yeah, but you guys made it through, and you got the video at the end of it. Hey, yeah, that shows some persistence, that's for sure.
We did it all in 11 hours, 4 different locations, so.
Oh shit, yep, that's a So yeah, now that you got that out and you're kind of living it up today with the new release, what's coming next? You got plans as the world starts to slowly reopen?
Yeah, I've got a remix coming out for What Do You Want, which will be out in a few weeks. I've still got to confirm that, but it's more of a tribal remix. And then we also have another single coming out with, well, I independently do. I might release on a label. We're in talks about it. And it's with GodX, which is a Vancouver-based electronic deep house duo. They've gotten to work with like Canada's Drag Race cast members, and they're just a really good sound. Like I love it. It's like very deep, grungy. And we're releasing a track called Law of Attraction sometime this summer as well, which will be fun. And I'm excited to see what happens with that.
How's just your personal life with this pandemic and knowing things that are coming back? What's kind of your mindset at this point?
Yeah, the start of it was a shock, obviously. Like, to be able to make art, you need to have like capital and be able to work and be able to invest in that, especially even being on a label. Like, you want to be able to contribute as much as you can to the product and to all of the art that you're releasing for everybody. And because I've been doing this so long, I'm more of over quality, not quantity. And so it was really hard financially, obviously. And I got into partying and like making bad decisions for like the first bit of the year. And then I started, focusing and remembering, I have all this time to take advantage of it, and started honing in a little bit more on my art and the music and writing more, and just being able to take care of my health and like eat healthy and work out and just start dancing again. And so it's been a roller coaster, but we're at the end of the pandemic, and now I'm starting to look into doing some gigs and some live shows to promote the single, and some collaborations with promoters, as well as some drag queens in the community and other recording artists that are in the queer and all-inclusive community as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's such a nice feeling just to be able to like talk about making plans. I find at this point, after a year and a half of being like, nope, there's no way I can do anything. Yeah, it's really hard to get your motivation back, especially after so long of being like on your couch, like just sad. I ended up getting, I work as well as do music, like to supplement the art and everything. And I've always been like that. Like, I need to be keeping busy. And I've had 4 different jobs this past year, just being hired on, laid off. And it's because of obviously the pandemic and the restrictions with everything, and not being able to do live shows and all that. So we're at the end of a crazy time, and I'm really excited to see what's in store for the community and the music industry and everybody involved in hospitality, and all of the restrictions that were set in place that kind of affected our lives are being lifted, which is amazing. So absolutely, I can't wait to see what Toronto looks like once things get back going again, and all of these artists can start getting all their art and all their music and everything out. It's gonna be fun as soon as it gets here. We're almost there. It is. We're in the roaring 20s again. Yeah. Let's talk about your music a little bit. When you're writing, what are some of the main subjects that you write about? Who are your inspirations? Writing comes up with, like, I always say this in my interviews as well, is that like I have to hone in on one concept and one idea, and then once I just commit to that and I don't just kind of jump all over the place, that's when I can really develop and let the project evolve, whether it's a track or a video or even just like a photo shoot or any sort of collaboration. So that's the key for me, is just making sure that I can just commit to the idea and then let it grow from that seed. Because sometimes I'll like have a little bit here of this idea and then jump over to this project and finish a little bit of that. It just gets out of hand and nothing ever gets released, or it's not planned accordingly, or whatever the case. And I'm such a planner that like I need to be always taking care of everything and all the details. And depending on my mood, I mean, I grab inspiration from just anywhere, really, other artists, mainstream or independent that I know personally, even nature, just hearing a beat sometimes, like a melody will come in, like just like any artist writes, really. It's just always on. You can't really turn it off, and it's sometimes it's inconvenient. Like I'll be on a walk or in the shower or something, and I always have to jot it down and make sure that when it leaves my head, I can refer to it again to be able to release. Yeah, you got that good old wet notepad in the shower, like a lot of artists, right? Yeah, for sure. It always comes at like really inconvenient times, or like times when I'm like super caffeinated and like you can't shut your brain off. Like I'm very like ADD and high energy, so it's good to be able to funnel that into like a pad and paper, or like into my notepad on my phone. And some days it's like just like, wow, I can write a full song in like 5 minutes because it just spews out. And then there's other days where I'll write 2 verses and then I lose it. And then I'm like, oh, I'll go back to it. So it's always just, again, committing to that one project at a time and being able, or a few at a time, depending on what I can handle, and letting it grow. How do you do that for yourself? I know that's something that a lot of artists deal with. There's always so many things going on at a time. It's sometimes hard to just hyper focus into one singular track or one singular video. What do you do for yourself to get yourself into that mood where you're just trying to focus on one thing instead of all of the million of things that you could be? Well, the thing is, I don't schedule myself unless it's like something that's like, like
creative stuff isn't really scheduled for me. It comes when it comes. And I feel like when I'm in the right state of mind, or, you know, I get inspired by something, then that's when it works. And, you know, when good things happen, like people are enjoying my music and they're reaching out, messaging me and telling me they love what I'm doing and it's making them happy, that's the type of stuff that would really push me to be like, okay, let's do this. Like, there's a reason why I'm doing this, because there's a lot of days out there that I'm just like, why am I doing this? Nobody cares. You know, it's draining me financially, and, you know, you feel bad about yourself and you don't have confidence. And then there's other days where people, you know, will reach out or talk about a song that you had, and then it re-sparks that kind of creativity and that like drive again.
That's a good note too for anybody watching. Like, honestly, sending little messages to artists like that, like you're saying, that can make a world of difference. Just knowing that people are listening, knowing that music did change something for them.
Exactly. Sometimes you feel like when you release something, it just goes into oblivion. It's like poof, like, and you like build up this momentum and then it just kind of is out there. And sometimes it's like a letdown, like what you get back from it. But you always have to remember that like, that's just the name of the game. And like, we just got to keep pushing forward and being consistent and having a great time and enjoying doing it, because there's no point in suffering and not enjoying creating art, because it's art and it will always be criticized, and it is a very oversaturated world we live in, especially on the digital marketing world and in the digital platforms. So yeah, it's just educating yourself, doing some research and trying to navigate this world we live in nowadays, especially being an artist, because all of the promotion tools have evolved. So
yeah, and there's a million different options out there at this point too. It's
there is.
Yeah,
I'm so old school too. I wish I could just like post my poster on like street posts and stuff, but that does work too. But I mean, effectively, it's all digital now, so it is an adjustment. I am going to school in the fall for digital marketing, so I'm hoping to be able to get out of the hospitality as kind of my side hustle and be able to focus on being able to elevate my online presence, as well as work with other artists and help them out through the digital marketing kind of platforms that are out there today. And hopefully I can start making money consistently on the side and being able to work in an industry that I love and kind of translate into financial assistance in some sort.
Awesome. Let's talk about who are some of your most listened to other Canadian artists over the course of this pandemic.
Lately, I mean, opposed to like all of the mainstream like top 40 artists that I do obviously listen to, there's a lot of independent artists that I'm friends with, that I know personally, that I've collaborated with, or that I've seen live, or, you know, just hung out with or partied with, and you get to see them evolve over time. Quanta Style, she's someone I always mention. She is a trans two-spirited artist based out of Vancouver. I believe she's still in Vancouver. She is in BC. She's moved around a few times. As well as GodX, who I mentioned before. I love their sound. I love what they do. They're a great duo. They were fun to work with. So I love listening to their new EP that just dropped. And then there's like artists like Adam Lambert or Britney Spears that like I pull from, that I love to listen to just because of their vocals, or just like the aesthetic and just the sound and the branding. So awesome. Yeah, it depends on my mood. I'm all over the place. Sometimes I'm a creature of habit. I'll just listen to the same like 5 songs over and over. And then there's other days where I'm like, let's open up that mind. Let's listen to something new. Let's support some other artists. So
yeah. All depends on the emotions of the day, hey?
Exactly. It's a roller coaster, you know?
I feel like everybody's emotions have been on such a roller coaster over the course of this, that I'm sure a lot of people's musical selections vary a lot more day to day than they used to before this hits.
Of course, yeah. And just even my outlook on life has changed. You know, you appreciate different things a lot more than you would have before. And, you know, it's been like an eye-opener for sure for everybody. And it can only really help in the long run, I feel.
Definitely, yeah. There's so many little things in life that I'm not going to take as granted as I had been for many years. Because seeing them when they're gone, I really I guess you don't know what you have till it's gone, like they say.
Exactly, yeah.
What's a couple things, aside from getting back to live music, but what are some of the things you're most excited for once the world is reopened?
Going out and just being able to support and see live shows. Being able to go out and celebrate with friends without, you know, too much stress or restriction. and just being able to have the freedom to make a decision to go out and do something. And, you know, I haven't seen a movie in so long either. That would be a really great thing to go kind of do a nostalgic event. But yeah, just like everybody else, I just want to be able to like live and enjoy and have options to get out of my head and to wind down and be able to separate and have fun and all that.
Oh, I want to thank you very much for coming on. This has been great chatting with you. Do you got any last messages or words that you want to share with anybody watching this right now?
I'm just really excited to share my music with everybody, and I hope you enjoy what I have out now and what's coming in the near future. And I'm excited to see everybody out in the real world. And thank you so much for having me today and interviewing me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Danny. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
What do you want? What do you want? Yeah, yeah. What do